It's true. I'm eating carbs.
Oh, hell no!
What up, fam? Yes, the rumors are true. I'm back to eating some carbs, but I want to talk to you about why. Why am I going to start incorporating in some carbs into my diet? And after you hear this, you'll be laughing about it because it's a reason that I've talked about before, and hopefully many of you implement in and understand the rationale for why this actually might be beneficial. So first and foremost, for those of you who've been following along, you know that I just got done with a carnivore journey, so I was really strict on that journey when I went a month carnivore, and then right after that I just went straight into keto. Didn't really sway from it whatsoever. Incorporate in a lot of fasting. So I've been doing a lot of fasting every single day, sometimes 16, 18 hours. Really just having Cobb salads, meats, and a small amount of vegetables and some fruits, obviously just avocado. But there's something that's coming up. I have decided, I just planned this out a long time ago. I'm going on a cruise in next week. And so that, my friends, is why I'm starting to eat carbohydrates. But before you make any assumptions, I want to break it down for you. I want to talk a little bit about why I would do that, what that means, and do I plan on blowing it out on the cruise? Do I plan on eating everything? I want to go into that into a little detail for you. So first to start, why would I start having carbohydrates? What carbohydrates am I going to start having? What is this nonsense? Well, first and foremost, for any of you that have seen the article that talks about, or you saw the headlines that were all over the news about like, oh, a low carb, high fat, or a ketogenic diet is more likely to increase type 2 diabetes. I think it's important to understand, I've talked about this before, but what that study actually looked at and what that study actually means. My brother is someone who actually mentioned that study to me because he got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and was like, Rye, like I hear you talking about keto all the time. Like this is saying that keto can cause type 2 diabetes, this headline. And unfortunately, he saw that, and if he's seeing that and it's getting out to people where they actually think that that's true, that's a problem. Well, let me explain to you why that headline came about, and that will lead into why I'm having carbohydrates. So first off, that headline, what they basically found is in animals who were fed a strict ketogenic diet, their pancreas can't secrete or can't produce as much insulin as an animal that's eating a high amount of carbohydrates. To you and me, this makes perfect sense, right? If I'm not eating a lot of carbohydrates, my body's not gonna upregulate the capacity to produce insulin because I don't need as much, right? Is that necessarily a bad thing? No. But what did they do in this study? Well, they basically fed them a low carb, high fat diet for a long period of time and then gave them a ton of glucose, a ton of carbohydrates, and looked at the response. Well, the animals that were eating the carbohydrates, they were able to clear those carbohydrates very quickly, right? They're used to that. They're eating it every single day. Now, the animals that were eating a ketogenic diet weren't able to. Duh, right? So these animals, they were eating a ketogenic diet, and then imagine one day someone throwing 400, 500, 600 grams of carbohydrates on your plate and say, eat it. Your body, your pancreas isn't set up to handle that if you haven't been doing that for the last 8, 12, 16 weeks. Does that make sense? I hope that resonates, and I'll talk a little bit more about this, but your body or your pancreas isn't producing as much insulin, so if you give it a huge carbohydrate load, it's not going to respond as well. So one of the reasons is I'm probably going to have some carbohydrates while I'm on this cruise. Am I going to eat cake, cookies, and brownies? No. I'm still gonna stay lower carb, higher fat, and higher, but I'm gonna eat a lot of protein to go along with that. But I wanna put myself in a position where my body's starting to secrete a little bit more insulin a week out. And so I'm gonna start incorporating in things that in my book are higher carb. And for some people you might think like, oh, what is he gonna be eating? Pop-Tarts and oatmeal and brownie? No. So I wanna talk a little bit today with you about some of the things I'm gonna incorporate in, and this is one of them. So this is, and there's multiple of these that are out there. This is Fage Greek yogurt. And in total, it has 7 grams of carbs, 23 grams of protein. It's got no fat. So for me, one of my favorite meals to utilize when I'm doing some transition like this is I take a cup of this, which has 7 grams carbs, which to me is a lot, right? And then I mix it in with some protein. So I'm getting super high amounts of protein. Might get a little bit of an insulin response from that. It's okay. I'll be fine. And what I do is I add in coconut butter. I add in a little bit of coconut butter, get in some healthy fats, mix that in. The coconut butter gets hard, so it's like chips inside of Greek yogurt, which is flavored from the protein powder. It's incredible, it's delicious. But to me, this is what I mean by oh, I'm increasing my carbs, right? I'm not eating cereal, other than some new low carb cereals that have been sent to me, which are amazing. I'm not eating traditional, what people deem as high carbohydrate foods. To me, it's slowly increasing foods that have more carbohydrates than I would typically consume on a ketogenic diet. And so that's what I wanted to get across to you guys. And I talk about this all the time. If you're preparing for a wedding or you're preparing for a vacation and you're getting away, it's okay to take a week before you're about to leave and slowly increase the carbohydrates that you're having. And when I mean increase the carbohydrates, again, you're not going over 150, 200 grams of carbohydrates. You're having likely higher protein and a little bit of carbohydrates to go along with that, more than you would typically have on your ketogenic diet. So that's what I wanted to get across to you guys today, and talk a little bit about foods like Greek yogurt that I'm increasing during this transition period. And then I'll take you along. I'll document it while I'm there, showing you some of the foods that I'm having on the cruise, even when I'm in Mexico, enjoying some Mexican cuisine. I'm not gonna be blowing it out of the water. And one of the other things I'm gonna be bringing along, and this is something that people have asked a lot about. This is one of the brands I've had, but one of the products is IC5. But in essence, it's one of the best sources of berberine. And you guys have heard me talk about berberine, but I plan for this very strategically. So even during this week, I'm bumping up my increase of berberine. So with every meal, even when I'm having Greek yogurt, I have a serving, which is 2 capsules, which this has 500 milligrams of berberine. And there's plenty that you can get on Amazon. But basically, it's insulin sensitizing agents. I'm going to probably be taking 4 or 5 doses of this a day while I'm on my cruise to help with that. It's not like I'm just going in cold and saying, you know what, screw it, I'm not gonna train, I'm not gonna take anything, I'm just gonna go in cold. No, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna train probably every morning, be active in some capacity. I'm gonna eat lower carb, like I said, moderate fat, moderate protein, and I'm gonna take insulin sensitizing agents to go along with it. And so I wanted to put out this video to talk to you guys, because I know a lot of people freak out about it. A lot of times people get worried about it and are like, oh my gosh, what do I do? I would recommend saying, you know what, don't stress about it. First and foremost, the stress and the cortisol is going to cause enough problems as it is. You're not blowing it out of the water. Make sure you're not doing that. Make sure you're not just going from 0 to 100 real quick. You know what I mean? Make sure that you're not going, oh, I'm hardcore keto, and then you're going to go have 500 grams of carbohydrates per day. Don't do that. Allow your body some time to adapt, and allow your body to get, even if you're staying low carb, moderate fat, higher protein, it's okay. Allow your body some time for that transition. Allow your body to secrete a small amount of insulin. It'll be okay, I promise. And allow you to go into that and enjoy your time, enjoy your space, because you stressing out is gonna not only allow you to not live in the present moment, but also cause a heck of a lot more complications than a cup of Greek yogurt would. So with that being said, guys, yes, I am bumping up my carbs, but not like what most people think. I'm gonna be utilizing insulin sensitizing agents throughout the entire time. It'll be fun, it'll be fine. I'll bring you guys along for the journey. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate all the love and support. With that being said, make positivity louder. Love you guys.